I'm gonna be telling you about every single title in Blox Fruits, as well as some secret titles that you might have not known existed. So the first official title in Blox Fruits is called The Unleashed, and the way you obtain this is by unlocking Human V2. And similarly, the next title is called Unmatched Speed, and you get this by unlocking Rabbit V2. Next up is the Sea Monster title, and you actually don't get this one by killing a sea monster, you get it by unlocking Shark V2. Next up we got Sacred Warrior, and you get this by unlocking Angel V2. Then we get the Ghoul, and this one is pretty self-explanatory. I mean, do I even need to say anything? You get it by unlocking Ghoul V2. And then we got the Cyborg, and you also get this one by unlocking Cyborg V2. Now moving on to the V3 for the races. The next one is called Full Power, and you get this by unlocking Human V3. Next up we got Godspeed, and you get this by unlocking Rabbit V3. After that it's Warrior of the Sea, and you get this with Shark V3. Moving on, we got Perfect Being, and you get this with Angel V3. And we're already at 10 titles, and we have way more to go. Next up is Hellhound, and you get this by unlocking Ghoul V3. And the next one is War Machine, and you get this by unlocking Cyborg V3. And moving on to the V4 for the races. This one is called Berserker. It's actually in a special red color. You get this by unlocking Human V4. Next up is Thunderbolt, and you get this by unlocking Rabbit V4. Moving on, we got Leviathan, which is actually a type of fish, and you get this by unlocking Shark V4. Pretty fitting if you ask me. Next is His Majesty, and you get this by unlocking Angel V4. The next one is Nightwalker, and you get this one by unlocking Ghoul V4. Then it's Genesis, and you get this by unlocking Cyborg V4. And now moving on from races, the next one is actually called Bounty Hunter, and to get this one you need to reach either a 5 million bounty or honor. And similarly we got Pirate Hunter, which has the exact same requirements. It's just a different name depending on whether you're marine or a pirate. Next is Warlord of the Sea, and you get this one by reaching a 10 million plus bounty. Then we got Emperor of the Sea, and you get this one by reaching a 20 million plus bounty. And you also obviously get Empress of the Sea with the exact same requirements. But keep in mind, these titles are only for the pirates. For the marines, they have a bit different names. By getting 10 million honor, you actually get the Admiral title, and by getting 20 million plus honor, you get the Fleet Admiral title. Moving on from bounties, the next title is called Enlightened One, and you get this by unlocking any awakening, literally any of them. And you also get Awakened One, which you also just need to get any awakening for. Same with Over Heaven and Over Hell. You need any awakening and you literally get 4 titles. Now moving on to the Awakened Fruits. This one is called Flame Fist, and you get it by awakening the Flame Fruit. Then we got Ice Queen and Ice King, which you actually get by awakening the Ice Fruits. Then we got the Strongest One, which you get by awakening the Quake Fruit. The First Light, pretty self-explanatory, by awakening the Light Fruit. Then we got the Dark Lord, which I think you guys should be able to guess. It's obviously by awakening the Dark Fruit. Then we got the Spider, and you get this one by awakening the Spider Fruit. Then we got Thunder God, and for this one you need to awaken the Rumble Fruit. Then we got Red Dog, which you need to unlock the Magma Awakening for. Then we got Colossal God, and for this one you need to unlock the Buddha. This one's actually kind of fitting because your transformation gets much bigger when you awaken your Buddha. Then we got Desert Prince, and this one is by awakening the Sand Fruit. And then we got Phoenix, and this one is obviously by awakening the Phoenix Fruit. Then we got Bread Chaser, and this one is by completely awakening the Dough Fruit. Moving on from Fruit Awakenings, we actually got some pretty unique titles here. We got Devourer of Worlds, and you get this one by completing the April Fool's 2023 event. Next is Venlord Toad, and you also get this one by completing the April Fool's 2023 event. Next up is the YouTuber title, and for this one, it's pretty self-explanatory. You just gotta be a big enough creator, and the Blox Fruits devs have to recognize you to give you the title. Then we got Ace Squad, and you get this one by defeating the YouTuber The Great Ace. Moving on, we got Officially a Noob, and you get this one by defeating the YouTuber Official Newbie. And then we got Water Gang, and you get by defeating the YouTuber Digrok. Then we got Don Axori Family, and you get this one by defeating the YouTuber Axori. Next up, we got Mafia Gang, and you get this one by defeating the YouTuber Bloxy Gaming. Next up is the Herora Family, and you get this one by defeating the YouTuber Herora. Next up is Magic Slayer, and you get this one by defeating the YouTuber Magic Buzz. The next one is called Kit Kat, and you get this one by defeating Kid Gaming. Then we got Team JC, and you get this one by defeating the YouTuber JCWK. Then we got El Combo God, and you get this one by defeating the YouTuber Fur999. Then we got Nakuma Forever, and you get this one by defeating me and you. Next we got Loka Raja, and you get this one by defeating Raja_End. Next up we got L Crazy Editor, and you get this one by defeating the content editor Zeolus. Next up is 2 similar titles, and first one is called Rip_Family, and to get this one all you have to do is join the Roblox group Rip_Family and receive a higher roll. And it's the exact same thing for the next one, which is Red_Legion. You just have to join the Roblox Roblox group and get a higher roll. Moving on from groups and YouTubers, we got one called Justice Seeker, and you get this one by claiming a bounty as a Marine. Next up, we got something that you should all have when you enter the game, which is Empty Vessel, and you get this one by running out of energy. Then we got the Unlucky, and all you have to do is die to a regular enemy. Pretty simple if you ask me. Then we got the Vanquished, where you just have to die to a boss. Then we got Fallen Hero, and for this one, you have to die to a raid boss. Next up, we got Iron Man, which I think all of the endgame players watching should have. You simply just have to max out your hockey. Then we got Ultra Instinct, and for this one, your instinct / observation has to just reach max level. So this could take some time to get. Then we got Mad Scientist, and for this one, all you have to do is just buy a normal raid chip. And then we got the Professor, and for this one, you have to buy a special microchip. Moving on, we got the Shadow, and for this one, you need to stay in a server for more than 1 hour. Then we got the Vampire, and you have to stay in the same server for 4 hours. Then we got Dracula, and for this one, you have to stay in a server for more than 12 hours. And this one, I don't think a lot of you should have. Then we got the Grandfather, which you have to trade in fragments for a race reroll. Pretty simple. Then we got Jack of all trades, and for this one, you just have to trade fragments for a stat refund. Next, we got the Undefeated one, and for this one, you need to receive damage from a player and survive with less than 50 HP left. Moving on, we got Immortal Being, and for this one, you need to receive damage from a player and survive with only 1 HP left, and I don't think a lot of you watching should have this one. I mean, I don't even have it. Next up, we got the Mad King, and for this one, you need to use castling in a chess match, which you can play with the chessboard in the Blox Fruits game. Next up, we got the Mastermind, and for this one, you simply have to defeat your opponent in a chess game. Moving on, we got the Dog, and all you have to do is simply talk to the doghouse. Next up, we got Ship Destroyer, and for this one, all you gotta do is simply destroy a ship with a cannon. Now we got some level titles. We got the Explorer, which you have to reach level 800 for. Next, we got the Adventurer, which you have to reach level 1000 for. For level 1200, you get the Mercenary. For 1600, you get the Viking. And for level 2000, you get the Pioneer. And for level 2400, you get the Glorious. Now moving on to Mastery. You get the Master for reaching max mastery on any sword or gun, and also for the same thing you get another title called Unbreakable Will. Next up, we got Fist of Death, and for this one you need to reach max mastery on a fighting style. When you reach max mastery on a sword, you get Godblade, and when you reach max mastery on a gun, you get King Sniper, and when you reach max mastery on your fruit, you get Beyond the Sea. Next up is the Broken Heart title, and you get this one by running out of time in a raid. And me personally, I have not done this. I just either finish the raid or just end up dying anyway. Next, we got the Conqueror, and this one most of you watching should have. You just have to simply complete a raid. Next up is Last Hope, and for this one you have to be the last person standing and win a raid. We got the Supersonic, and for this one you need to complete a raid in less than 5 minutes. Then we got the Flash, and for this one you need to complete a raid in less than 3 minutes 30 seconds. Next we got the Champion, and for this one you need to complete Bartillo's mission. Then we got Tide Warrior, and for this one you just simply have to die in water. Next we got the Toxic, and for this one you need to win a fruit from the factory event. Next up we got Blessed One, and for this one you just simply need to find a fruit that spawns on the map. Next up is Equal to Heavens, and for this one you need to defeat a Blox Fruits staff member, and this one is definitely one of the hardest ones on this list to do. Next we got the Rich, and for this one you need to gain a total of 5 million belly. Then we got the Unlimited Money title, and for this one you need 20 million plus belly. And then we got the Richest in the World, and for this one you need a whopping 50 million belly. Moving on, we got one called the Collector, and for this one you need to obtain a sword from the legendary sword dealer or obtain an aura color. Next up is the Swordsman, and for this one you just need to get a sword from the legendary sword dealer. Then we got Beast Hunter, and this one is pretty simple. You just have to kill a sea beast. Then we got the Beast, and for this one you need to kill 25 sea beasts. Then we got the Lost Soul, and for this one you need to die to factory poison in the factory raid. Next up is Forbidden One, and for this one you need to find the Fist of Darkness in a chest. Then we got the Troll, and for this one you need to die with a fruit in your inventory. Then we got Hidden Power, and for this one you just simply need to eat a physical fruit, and this one a lot of you should not have a problem getting, because all you have to do is roll the Blox Fruit gacha. Next up is Heavenly Devil, and for this one you need to defeat the Dawn Swan boss once. Next up is the Cursed One, and for this one you need to defeat Darkbeard ones. And if you defeat the Order boss, you get Beyond Death. If you defeat the Cursed Captain, you get Knight's Edge. If you drop a Blox Fruit, then you get Kind Hearted. And moving on, the next one is called the Kraken, and all you have to do for this one is drop a fruit to the sea. So if you guys really want this title, I recommend you drop something like the Kilo fruit, because no one's gonna use that. Then we got Lavish Living, and for this one you need to buy any fruit from the Blox Fruit dealer. Then we got Night Owl, and for this one you need to buy a 1 million plus fruit from the Blox Fruit dealer. What I mean by this is buy a fruit that's worth more than 1 million belly, not literally buy 1 million fruits from him. Next up, we got Wicked Captain, and for this one, you need to obtain the Dark Coat. And if you unlock Dragon's Breath, you get a Dragonborn title. If you unlock Death Step, you get Burning Leg. If you unlock Sharkman Karate, you get Sharkman. And if you unlock the Rengoku Sword, then you get Samurai. If you die to a player below the level of 800, then you get the Silent title. If you die to a max level player, then you get the Executioner. But keep in mind, to get this one, you also have to be max level. Then we got the Stalker, and for this one, you simply just have to defeat a player that's the same level as you. Then we got Risk Taker, and for this one, you just have to buy a random fruit from the Blox Fruit gacha. Then we got Luck of the Draw, and for this one, you need to obtain a fruit worth more than 1 million belly from the Blox Fruit gacha. Next up, we got Unstoppable Force, and for this one, you need to defeat 5 players without dying in the same server. Then we got Raging Demon, and this one's pretty hard to get. You gotta defeat 20 players without dying in the exact same server. Next up, we got the Protagonist, and for this one, you need to defeat 2 players at the same time. Then we got Cold-Blooded, and for this one, you need to defeat 10 players in the same server. Then we got Apex Predator, and for this one, you gotta defeat 25 players in the same server. Now, moving on to some unlocked titles. You get the Killer by unlocking Superhuman. You also get Human Weapon. 2 titles in one. Pretty good deal if you ask me. Then if you unlock the True Triple Katana, you get Demon Eye and the Hurricane. And if you unlock any aura color, you get the Enhancer. If you unlock the Snow White color, then you get True Heart. If you unlock the Pure Red color, then you get Bringer of Doom. If you unlock Winter Sky, then you get Realm Creator. If you unlock every purchasable aura color, then you get Hakaishin. If you unlock the Graveyard Secret, then you get Slayer of God. If you collect 100 Ectoplasm, then you get the Ghost. If you collect 250 Ectoplasm, then you get Ruler of the Night. And if you collect 1000 Ectoplasm, you get Lonely Reaper. Moving on, we got some pretty difficult titles to get. The Most Wanted title, for this one, you get it by owning a crew that's currently in the top 100 of the leaderboard. And this is pretty hard to do if you ask me. And the next title, which is Pirate King. And for this one, you need to be in the top 10 of the leaderboard and be active. Now we got some titles that you can only get during events. You got the Sugar Rush one, which you need to collect 100 candies for. The Christmas Spirit, which you need to collect 250 for. You got Loco Verde, which you need to collect 1000 candies for. Next up is the Raid Boss title, and for this one, you need to get a fruit from the Pirate Raid event. Then we got the Real Deal, and for this one, you just have to defeat an elite enemy. Then we got Demon Mode, and for this one, you just have to unlock the Yama Sword. And similarly, if you unlock the Tushida Sword, you get Celestial Swordman. And next up is a title called Ration, and for this one you need to unlock Electric Claw. Then we got Shadow Sovereign, and for this one you need to defeat Rip Indra in his true form. Then we got the Chosen One, and for this one you need to find the God's Chalice in a chest. Then we got Main Character, and for this one you need to complete the Citizen's Mission. Then we got Final Hero, and for this one you have to unlock Rainbow Savior. We got Skeleton, which you have to collect 250 bones to get. Then we got Undead Lord, and for this one you need to collect 500 bones. And it doesn't end there. For the next one, you need to collect 2,000 bones to unlock the title Death King. Then we got Shinigami, and for this one, you need to defeat the Soul Reaper just one time. Next up is the Devil's Luck, and for this one, you need to obtain Hallow Essence and the God's Chalice from praying. The next 2 titles are pretty hard to get. The first one is Dough Commander, and for this one you need to defeat the Cake Prince. And then we got Dough King, and this is a title that many of you definitely don't have. And all you have to do for this is defeat the Dough King. And something I should mention on a side note is that if you meet the requirements for any of these titles but you're still in the first sea, you won't be able to get the title until you reach the second sea. Because you can't really equip them in the first sea, can you? Now we got some unobtainable titles that normal players cannot get. If you're a co-owner of Blox Fruits, then you get 2 titles. The first one is Boss Blox Fruits Official, and the second one is Owner. And if you're an admin in Blox Fruits, you get El Rodolph Official. And if you're an Experimentric, then you get Festive Jester. And if you're Rip Indra, you get Loco Verde. If you're Eroe, then you get Sable's Pasado. If you're Drip Mama, then you get the Lost Original Bestia Suprema Loco Verde. And if you're Burgod, then you get Brazil God, and I don't know what the rest of this says. Someone please translate in the comments. And if you're Uzi London, you get the El Poppy title. And if you're Gossim, then you get the Lost Crazy Real Official. And if you're Rip Inderson, then you get the James Charles title. If you're Uzot, then you get the... I don't know how to pronounce this, but here it is. And if you Rip Indra, you actually get a second title, and this one is called Rip_Family Leader. And if you're Mai, then you get the Lord Captain Mai Official. Now let's talk a little bit about the title colors. The default color and the white color unlock automatically, so you can equip these at any time as long as you're in the second sea. If you unlock 10 titles, then you get the Spanish pink color. If you get 20 titles, then you get deep peach. If you unlock 30 titles, then you get blonde. You get the Kalamasi color if you unlock 40 titles. You get the Nyanza if you unlock 50 titles. If you unlock 60 titles, then you get pistachio. If you unlock 70, then you get green tea. If you unlock 80, then you get diamond. If If you obtain 90 titles, then you get powder blue. You get pale lavender if you unlock 100 titles. You get shampoo if you unlock 120 titles. And if you unlock 140, then you get classic rose. And the final hardest one to get is aquamarine. And for this one, you need to unlock 160 titles.